Hello everyone, and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls 2 PvP and another weapon showcase. This time I am using the Shotel, and this is a weapon that we really don't see very often. Now, I can think of one reason for this, and I'll get into a little detail on that later, but for now let's get started with the basic info on the weapon. This weapon requires 10 strength and 16 dexterity in order to wield. It has a D scaling in strength and an A in dexterity. The physical base damage of this weapon is 200, and on my quality build that I'm using right now, the attack rating with it is 361 with a Ring of Blades plus 2. The counter strength of the weapon is 110, the poise damage is 15 per hit, and the weight is 2.5 units. Later in the video I do use this on my dexterity build that uses the Ring of Blades and Flynn's Ring, and the attack rating on that build is about 420. So there's that. It's something I figured I should mention. Now, the biggest pro of this weapon would definitely be its ability to pierce shields with its R2 attacks. That's a huge thing. That's a big deal. And a lot of people don't really use this weapon, and as such, a lot of people don't really catch on that it does shield pierce with its R2 attacks. I've had numerous people just stand there and continue blocking as I'm eating through their shield, because I guess they don't put 2 and 2 together? I don't know. But they do it, and it doesn't make sense to me. So, there's that. Other pros of this weapon, I would definitely say, would be the moveset. Its R2 attacks are very good at piercing through shields, of course, but they are also good at hitting people who are trying to roll around you or roll away, especially if you're doing them for a wake-up attack, so that's something to keep in mind. Other good things about the moveset, its running attacks are very good at chasing people down, and when I say they're very good at it, I mean they are incredible at it. The two-handed R1 is, or the two-handed running R1 and the two-handed running attack is better for it than the one-handed running attack in my opinion, but that's a preference sort of thing, I guess. Other than that, the combo ability is something worth noting. You can pull off some pretty cool combos with its R2s and jump attacks and all that, and, you know, it's pretty straightforward otherwise for a curved sword. It's got a lot of the same abilities and pros as a lot of the other curved swords, and the only thing that really makes this one stand out a lot is the R2 attacks and their ability to pierce shields. Now, other than that, the cons of the weapon, I would have to say the biggest con would be the damage output, but by the way, I have switched over to my dexterity build now, and it does use the Ring of Blades and Flynn's Ring, so my attack rating with it is about 420 at this point in time in the video, so that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, the damage output is something that does leave a bit to be desired, but you can sort of fix that by wearing the Ring of Blades and Flynn's Ring and bringing your attack rating over 400. It's not hard, it works really well, especially considering how light the weapon is, and that's really a good way to use it. Other cons of the weapon, I would have to say the second biggest one would probably be the reach that this weapon has. It leaves a bit to be desired. It's really not great at all, but it does get the job done. You just have to be a little bit aggressive with it, and you'll be fine. Your opponents, not so much. Now, the reason why I'd have to say that this weapon is really not that common is for one specific thing: the ability to do a guard break. Because you can do guard breaks, people don't really rely on shield-piercing weapons anymore. They were a big deal in Dark Souls, and when I say they, I mean this weapon was a big deal in Dark Souls, as well as dead angling. They were things that people really rely on quite frequently. But now that guard breaks are such an easy-to-use mechanic, well, you don't really need shield-piercing weapons anymore. At least that's what a lot of people think, and why a lot of people don't really bother with them. That being said, they're kind of wrong. See, the only way that you can, or rather the easiest way that you can ruin someone's guard break attempt is to backpedal. That's all you need to do, just keep walking backwards, and their guard break will miss you, and you can keep turtling. So, with shield-piercing weapons, you can't just back away, you can't just walk backwards out of their range. if the person's using them correctly, that is. That's... excuse me. You can't just back away from them easily if the person is using the weapon effectively. So, you know, shield piercing still does have a purpose. It's just people don't really see it as having one. And, you know, it's useful. It really is. And a lot of people just sort of underestimate it and think, oh yeah, I'm fine behind my shield. And then suddenly you're hitting 200, 300 damage through a Havel's Great Shield, and they're in trouble. But they don't always realize it, and don't always put two and two together, so it can make some pretty good things happen for you. Anyway, this is the last fight in the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry about about the coughing, but allergies. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.